All right, what's up, everyone? Today is time for another vintage video, and today we're gonna dig a bit deeper. So in front of me, I have Dredge. Dredge is one of my favorite decks these days when it comes to its positioning in the metagame and how effective it is at winning games. So yeah, this will definitely be a good one. So at its core, Dredge is looking to abuse Bazaar of Baghdad. You can't keep a hand without Bazaar of Baghdad, which means we play 4 Serum Powders and we intend to press the mulligan button as many times as necessary, right? Since we rely on Bazaar of Baghdad, number one enemy that's like played in people's main decks is going to be Wasteland. That's why we play Noxious Revival, to have some more redundancy when it comes to Bazaaring. Okay, what can we do once we start activating Bazaar of Baghdad? We're going to be putting Dredgers in the graveyard. We're talking about these 13 guys. Dredge 3, Dredge 5, Dredge 6, Dredge 4. Then we're going to replace our draws with dredging, which is basically milling yourself and returning the dredge card to your hand. So once we mill, we're going to hit free creatures, Narcomoeba. We're going to hit free lightning helixes, Creeping Chill. We're then going to hit some more free creatures. Silver Smoke, the Ghoul is going to get triggered by Chill. Will come back for free. Amalgam will get triggered by Narcomoeba, come back for free. Then on our upkeep, we're gonna have Icarus triggers. We can activate Bazaar in response to those and get more black creatures in the yard and exile. So that's free creatures that'll come back. That'll trigger the amalgams. That'll accumulate a big board. So what I basically described now is like why this deck is an aggro deck. Also, by the way, 0 mana 4/4 in our opening hand. Hollow one, yeah, what's not to like? But what makes this deck unique, in my opinion, is the Disruption Suite. So we have 8 forces, mental misstep, and on top of that, we even have 4 grief and a chalice of the void. Meaning we are not only progressing our own game plan with aggressive creatures, aggressive strategy, we're also trying to slow down our opponent. So sometimes the name of the game is just racing, sometimes the name of the game is bearing the opponent in disruption. And that's going to vary from game to game, which is a strength of this deck, I would say. Dredge is super fast. If you keep 7 cards with Dredge, the opponent will always be scared. That's like, oof, Dredge kept 7. This is going to be tough, right? So that's what we're going to hope for today. The sideboard addresses mirror-ish Bazaar matchups. Then it has Sickening Shoal, which looks kind of strange on surface, but this is mainly to get rid of Containment Priest. That has seen a big uptick because Containment Priest is a good card against not only Dredge, but also Oath. So it's pretty efficient sideboard building to have Containment Priest. Then we have Force of Vigor against mainly artifact-based decks. This is also good against some hate if we know what hate our opponent is bringing in. Let's keep an eye out for that one. Obviously, it kills Leyline of the Void, which is probably the biggest one. Then we're going to have one more Noxious, which helps the green count for Force of Vigor and is good against Wasteland. Then we have our own Wastelands plus Strip Mine, which can be good, especially on the play. Like, imagine you go turn 1 Bazaar, do your thing, then your opponent tries to set up for like a turn 2, turn 3 kill, and you have the Wasteland to kind of... It's just like trying to find the most disruptive, quote-unquote, time walks as possible. That's basically the name of the game with this deck. Okay, that'll do it for the deck tech. I will play some matches, so yeah, I'll see you there. All right, round 1 is upon us. We're on the draw here. We have a Bazaar Baghdad, so we're going to keep, and then we're going to cross our fingers. The opponent doesn't kill us turn 1. Because if we get the turn, we have Chalice, we have Hand Disruption. Okay, this is already bad, so most likely we're up against, I was about to say Oops All Spells or Mono White. Ancestral Recall, Resolves. Yeah, this is not good. Oops All Spells. So the thing is, that deck is going to keep a hand with these exact 3 cards and whatever as the rest of them. So yeah, we got pretty lucky there that nothing bad happened turn 1. Another grief. Okay. This is not bad. So maybe I'm supposed to start. No, I think I'm supposed to activate Bazaar first. Let's activate Bazaar first, see what's going on. I really wish I get to another Dredger. Okay. So let's see. I want to double grief using these 4 cards. I feel like I should discard, well, Thug and Amoeba for sure, because they don't do anything. So do I want to shut down future 0 drops? Do I want to develop a 4/4? I think I like going discard the Chalice, grief the opponent. I grief twice? Yeah, it might not even be enough because maybe... Yeah, okay, fair enough. Maybe it is enough. So we can get rid of Tinker and Spy, and that way the opponent needs both a black card and another combo piece to kill me. The way Oops All Spells wins the game is you go Balustrade Spy or Undercity Informer, mill your whole deck, dread return the Thassa's Oracle. So yeah. Okay, Grief is dead. I play 0 mana Hollow 1. Now worth noting is I can't upkeep Dredge next time. Like I upkeep Activate Bazaar because I have the second Czar in hand, which, you know, I want to get going. It's worth it taking off that upkeep upkeep activation. Let's see here. Huh. Let's start by attacking for 4. I just assume my opponent's gonna block, you know, trying to buy some time. They did not block. Okay, so let's have a look. The opponent has Pact, Oracle, Chrome Mox, 1 unknown. Okay. So I play the second Bazaar. I pass, and then on my opponent's... Before my opponent moves to end step, I'm going to activate 2 Bazaars, so I hopefully can get back the Amalgam. Okay, second Narcomoeba hits the field. Yeah, I mean... The opponent... Okay, they're even attacking. Fair enough. The opponent is just looking to buy time and see if they can combo me out before I, you know, combo them out, basically. Let's see if that is going to happen. Would be very nice to hit an Narcomoeba here. Creeping Chill is not bad. Okay, no Narcomoeba, but I do have Icarus for my upkeep. So I drain my opponent. Now I think they have 1 more draw. Double Icarus trigger on the stack. So now, if I hit both of my remaining... if I hit 2 Creeping Chills, I win the game. Because then my opponent's at 7. I get double Icarus back. My opponent only has 1 blocker. Think so? Hit double... No, I need to hit all 3. Okay. That's hard. That is very, very hard. Okay, there's some... But maybe I can just dredge my whole deck and the opponent's done for. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So the reason why my opponent's conceding here is I can... as a combination of dredgers, I can mill the remainder of my deck and ensure to hit the Creeping Chill. The last one, meaning the opponent takes 3, 6, 9 from that down to 4. Then I get back 2 Icarus. The opponent can block Hollow 1 and take 6 from double Icarus. So yeah, pretty bad attack with Narcomoeba, not gonna lie. Okay, so we were lucky to win on the draw against Oops All Spells. But to be honest, this matchup isn't that bad. I think if I just go full disruption, I'll be fine. Chills are bad. Wolves are a package, and they're bad. Bring in all of these, because their plan B is going to be Goblin Charbelcher, which can be a bit annoying. Maybe I still want the Griefs. Now I have room for 2 cards. Maybe just these. Yeah, maybe that's fine. So basically, I want to start with Leyline so they can't win with the normal plan. Then I wanna maybe that's not maybe that's flawed logic. And then I want like Force of Vigor to handle the Charbelcher angle. And of course I still have all my counters. This should be pretty strong. Maybe I do like this. The hollow, let's say they have some kind of graveyard hate. Maybe the hollow ones are going to be good in like a super scrappy game. I don't exactly have my set sideboard plan against Oops All Spells. Maybe I should. Like, that deck pops up from time to time. Wow. Look at this hand. I begin the game with a Leyline of the Void in play. I have Force of Will backup. I even have Noxious Revival backup, which is a card that counters their Red Return at the end of the rainbow if we get there. Wow, yeah, the opponent even had turn 1 Chancellor. So if they can kill me with Goblin Charbelcher, I'm in trouble. No, actually, I'm not in trouble. Huh. Wow, this is insane. Okay, so the opponent goes Dark Ritual, Undercity Informer, which doesn't do anything because of Leyline. So that's fine. The thing is, even if my opponent had the means to disrupt this Leyline, I could go Noxious... No, I couldn't. My bad. Because it's exiled in the yard. Okay. I thought for a second I could break the Chancellor shield there, but no such thing. Huh. Yeah, I feel like this is just over before it even began. So what if I go Icarid, Noxious, Grief? Then I go Noxious, gets countered, play Hollow One, and then my opponent's Delver plan is kind of out the window. I don't have a Dredger going here, but I do have a 4/4 and a free counterspell. My opponent needs to remove this most likely to win this game. Let's see. Second land. No damage. I don't think I'm supposed to bring back the Icarid here. It just doesn't make much sense. What I could do is activate Czar. Does that make sense? I don't think so. This Noxious is actually pretty good right now. But let's just take the draw. Let's attack. Now I can see myself activating. Draw 2, discard 3. No, I'll be fine here. So basically now I'm trying to make sure that if my opponent has Blue Source, Chain of Vapor, I kind of have counterplay for that, even though they might have backup for that, right? I'm going to let Cabal Therapy quick resolve here. It's a good way to clear my hand. They're probably going to name Force of Will. Yeah. Opponent names Force of Will. Still have Force of Negation blue card, which works on the opponent's turn, not on my turn. Excuse me. Am I going to activate Czar, or do I like my double interaction? Oh. Maybe I like my double interaction. I really don't know here. Another Czar, okay. Now I think I like the fast plan, but let's see. Yeah, maybe not. Chrome Mox. Chrome Mox. I can see myself countering that card because right now I'm actually interested in, you know, emptying my hand. I don't think my opponent... Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, so the logic is my opponent can't win if they stay back and have to block anyway, so they might as well attack. That's fine. Okay, so Noxious Is Noxious just winning the game here on its own? Thing is, if I hit one no, not one amalgam. I need to hit one more Icarid. Maybe I just take the turn. This is so hard. Yeah, now I think I'm supposed to bring it back. Because now I put my opponent to 2 life. This is actually super complicated. Now I put my opponent to 2 life, and I just need a black creature. Yeah, now my opponent can't pass the turn. Yeah, this is great. Because if they have to block with an Informer, the game is just over. Wow, that was tricky. I had double Bazaar, so I could have sped up my game plan. But since I had the interaction here, I didn't want to, like, go for it. But maybe that's flawed logic, because I slowed myself down so much. But just imagine the opponent went, whatever blue source, Chain of Vapor, mill, kill me. This card just stops it, right? If my opponent has that, my Noxious Revival will, once they mill, there's some Narcomoeba triggers, I can just go, like, Noxious Revival on the Dread Return, and then they can't do anything. I think I played this well, but I'm really not sure. It's kind of complicated because you would think, okay, you have a 4/4 and double counter magic with a leyline, or double interaction rather, you'll just be winning. But I think sometimes it's about focusing on slamming the door, because I'm sure I win 99% of the time, no matter what I do this game. But I think it's about slamming the door and getting to 100. That should be the goal, at least. All right, that was match 1. See you guys for the next one. Okay, everyone, we're back. This time on the draw, and we're up against the same opponent. So, I mean, that player could just be signing up to the next league and playing Oops All Spells again, but it doesn't really matter for our opener here. We have to Serum Powder. Serum Powder, the free mulligan. Let's do it again. And this time we have a Bazaar. So, let's keep. I'm ready to die turn 1 here against Oops All Spells. Black Lotus resolves. 4 mana, Balustrade Spy. I'll just let my opponent play this out. They mill their old deck. They hit Narcomoebas. So this is a spot where if I had Noxious Revival, I could interact. If I had Force of Will, I could interact. But I don't. So yeah, we can concede here. The opponent casts Cabal Therapy. They have Thassa's Oracle in the graveyard. They have Dread Return in the graveyard. So yeah, the game's over. Okay, so Oops All Spells once more. Let's bring in these 9. I don't care too much about Chills and that card. Now I'm on the play, so Grief is good. Maybe it's time to cut the Hollow Ones. Maybe it's time to cut the boys. Keep 1 lucky Hollow One in the deck. Love it. Let's draw that in the opener. Leyline of the Void in the opener. No Bazaar, though. So for this hand to be a keep, we have to hold the fort until I draw a Bazaar of Baghdad, which is a 4 out of 53 cards, so I'm not going to do that. This is a lot better. Now I can keep 6, put away Serum Powder, and yeah, try and get to work. I have, in case my opponent needs Dark Ritual, Mana Bolt, or Soul Ring to accelerate, I have double interaction. I also have a Dredger to discard the Bazaar, and if I need it, I can Force of Vigor. So yeah, great hand. Opponent with no Chancellor. I'm not going to activate here because I have 1 Hollow One in my deck. That's like the upside of activating. So I'd rather, let's say my opponent just has the nuts here, then I might need all 5 cards to beat my opponent. We get griefed here, which is unfortunate. Grief on force of... Yeah, I don't even know. So I can just lose this game here if my opponent can just produce a combo piece. This is going to tell us a lot about their hand. There's also the possibility, since they know we have ley lines, that they have like a Belcher hand. And then the Vigor is all of a sudden a problem. Lots of options here. The thing about Force of Negation is it doesn't counter the creatures, so I have to counter like Ritual and Mana Bolt and stuff like that. Huh. I'm gonna Mental Misstep that card. I think it's worth it. Now I'm gonna Bazaar. Discard Shell. Huh. Okay. So now I guess I hang on to more counter magic. Dredge 3. Pass. Getting ready to dredge more before my next turn. I'm gonna do it on the opponent's main phase. So what is the... Let's see. I'm actually gonna negate the Jet, because Jet is like, my opponent needs black mana to get anywhere, and if I keep the counter plus blue card, I'm kind of slowing down myself potentially. Okay, there's Icarid, so let's respond to the Icarid trigger. Dredge some more. I didn't hit any Amalgam, I think. Oh, I hit one Amalgam. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad for a clock. It's Grief. It doesn't do anything from the yard. Draw step, dredge 5. I hit another Amalgam, so they're 14, get 2 Amalgams back. Let's see. I don't even know if I have lethal next turn. Elvish Spirit Guide. Is this Tinker? Okay. Tinker, let's see. Can't remember if they run Citadel or... They do run Citadel. Okay, so they need to win here. Elvish Spirit Guide. Double Elvish Spirit Guide from the top. That's funny. So let's see if we're dead or... We get to live another day. Land... I think... Oh, Spy? Okay. Opponent's at 4. Yeah, now I just lose, right? Let's see. Yeah, Oracle. Don't necessarily spot the Dredge Return, but I'm sure it's there. Okay, it's in the opponent's hand. Yep. Cool. So, yeah, the opponent crushed us handily here. We kind of did our best to prolong the game. But yeah, sometimes you the combo opponent breaks through before we aggro them out, and that's how it is. Once the opponent, yeah, there's a lethal Dread Return. That'll do it. And yeah, that makes us a 1-1. Let's see if we can find another matchup than Oops All Spells, because these games are going to be, on average, not the most interesting. It's going to be about finding the absolute last percentages. And at the end of the day, it's also a race and a matchup between the opponent's speed and my amount of disruption. But yeah, I hope we find another matchup for round 3. Don't go anywhere. Okay, round 3, we're on the draw. I have a Bazaar in my opening hand, so I'm going to keep. So let's see here. I don't have any disruption for turn 1. I have a Force of Will, but no blue card. Yeah, the variance is pretty big between play and draw here, especially with a card like Chalice of the Void, and just my, racing, trying to kill the opponent game plan as a whole. And we also we would have gotten 2 more draws with Bazaar to find a blue card. So this hand is now, kind of fragile, 2 broken draws. and on the play it would have been just incredible. So the variance is pretty big with play draw in a deck like this. Sometimes when I pick my decks for Vintage, I try and focus a little bit about on, how can I explain it? Like, which deck loses the most, well, loses the least rather, by being on the draw. I think that's sometimes that's gonna be like a good decision to focus on, but I think Dredge is actually reasonable on the draw. It has 8 forces in it, so not the worst. One mulligan to 5. So basically right now we're hoping that does not mean the mirror. We're hoping it's some kind of fair strategy or some kind of blue deck, actually. Just fair or unfair, it doesn't really matter. Oh, okay. So we're playing a Dredge mirror. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. Oh, we're not playing a Dredge mirror. My bad. We're playing against Squee. Okay, that's scary. Because that deck has Wastelands and stuff. I draw a hollow one. Great draw. So let's activate Czar, and then discard as many Dredgers as possible, because we might never... we might never activate a Bazaar again. Maybe it's okay to discard Icarid if we also need some kind of clock. Chalice of the Void is... I mean, yeah, that actually doesn't do anything. I thought for a second this... Well, I guess there's a chance this has mana sources in it. I guess... I don't know. I can't remember if there's like a hybrid at some point. Let's see. We might get Vigored here. No Vigor. Noxer's Revival would have been great, because it protects against Wasteland and can potentially disrupt my opponent's graveyard. Let's say they have like double Root Walla now. Then I would have been able to get rid of the Vengevine. But this is going to be all about Wasteland, in my opinion. If I get the turn with Bazaar still in play, I'm in great shape. Okay, here's Fury. I feel like I should Force a Will that Fury. Let's Force a Will that Fury. The opponent most likely has a hollow one. And then the Vengevine's going to come back, so now they are dominating me. So the last card needs to be Wasteland. Then the last card was Wasteland, and now I'm in trouble. Let's just get the block out of the way. Yeah, this is very bad, because now my speed is going to be just so slow. Now I have Amalgam and double Icarid out there, but the thing is, yeah, I'm probably supposed to exile one Icarid to the other. Okay, there's a Root Walla. Let's see if the opponent gets in for 4. Opponent gets in for 4. Yeah, I'll exile one Icarid to the other here. And I'll trigger Amalgam. That one is gone. Then I'm gonna Dredge. This could be my last Dredge, baby. Yeah. Now I can't really win with no Dredger in the yard. Opponent can just take 3 damage. That's fine. I get a 3/3. They have a 4/4. So funnily enough, playing out this Chalice was just terrible. For some reason, I missed the forces, and that was like a mana version at some point, which played Moxes. So let's say the opponent didn't draw the nuts, then having an extra card in hand would have gotten me closer to a natural cleanup step. So I could discard a Dredger and move on, but obviously this game is over, so that's not going to do anything this game, but overall, that's not a bad strategy. Thinking about your hand size. Okay. So I guess we just remove all counter spells in this matchup. Wow, there's a lot of cards, so let's see. I need to cut 3 more cards. You can even argue that Grief isn't very strong. At least the first copy gets cut. But maybe it's just 1 more and a Ghoul, maybe? I think this'll be fine. Okay, so I brought in Leyline because it's awesome. I put in Vigor because Leyline's awesome against me. I brought in my Wastelands because it's a bizarre matchup. I have quad Noxious Revival because Force of Vigor, Green Count, and because the opponent has Wasteland. I keep my Misstep because of the opponent's Noxious Revival. Yeah. This matchup is super scary because they function better off of, let's say, 1 Bizarre activation, and they function better like 1 Bizarre activation then get Wastelanded. They might already have like Vengevine, Root Wallers, whatever in play, and they function better. Let's say we both have Leyline, so this is just a bad matchup, and I need to get kind of lucky. Let's see. Yeah, the Bizarre matchup is funny because the opponent's deck is worse against, it can actually lose to like fair decks, where this deck is really good at closing out those decks. Yeah, but it's interesting. Huh. So this opening hand has no Leyline, but I have a turn on Hollow One, so let's just get rid of Ghoul. Opponent's animal to 5. Yeah, the thing about it is, if my opponent has a Leyline, I at least have the Vigor, so I just have to draw a green card to get into the game, and I have, turn 1 Hollow One, which is never bad, so let's see. Ooh, okay. Maybe that's pretty easy. Maybe we just discard those 3, yeah. Then play Hollow One, pass. So no Dredger. So this is going to get a little bit scrappy. Strip Mine on Bazaar, which is good. We have a 4/4 in play. We can Noxious that back. So let's see. Am I supposed to exile 1 Ichor to the other? I think so, yeah. Because then I get back Amalgam end of turn. I think that's worth it. If I draw Bazaar, is there an argument for not playing the Czar? No, I don't think so. I think I'm supposed to play the Czar. Maybe not activate it in case my opponent goes Bazaar, Hollow One stuff. Yeah, now I'm kind of forcing my opponent to get on the board because they're at 13, I have 7 power, so. So they are thinking about Noxious Revival on Strip Mine. That sounds bad. Sounds like they'll fall too far behind. Let's see. The opponent's thinking on their upkeep. Noxious on Strip Mine. Kill my Bazaar. Take 7. And if I find like a black creature, my opponent's down to 3. Yeah, let's see. The thing is, if Bazaar stays in play, my opponent can't really win. So at that, you could say they're like playing with house money at that point. Ghost Quarter, okay. Let's activate. That is some pretty good cards. Am I supposed to put my... No, I don't think so. Do I put my opponent to 3? Maybe I do because I have Creeping Chills. Yeah, I do that because I have Creeping Chills. Okay. Dredge 6, hit a Creeping Chill, and it's over. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't much of a game. That was not much of a game. So let's see. Now I'm on the draw, so now I can have 2 ghouls instead of grief. So my sideboard plan is a bit odd here. I have like 1 copy of grief, but fine. It's at the end of the day, it's like a black creature to pitch to exile to Icarus. So yeah, let's see. That game was pretty straightforward because I was able to get on the board and I got wastelanded a couple of times on the draw. Play draw is huge in games like that. Sometimes when you play like Bazaar vs. Bazaar, it's not like you don't have much agency because it's not like you can mulligan a hand with a Bazaar in it, and you have to mulligan all hands without it. So at the end of the day, you're just going to hope that your opening hand lines up well against the opponent, or it's just like great. Like out of the opponent's deck, you can go turn 1, activate, ditch Vengevine, and Root Walla, play Hollow 1, have like 9 power turn 1, and that's basically what I had right there, right? Like some Hollow 1 Icarus action. But it's like when you're activating Bazaar and when you're trying to wrap your head around, oh, what can happen if I activate Bazaar? Am I discarding any important cards, etc., etc.? So it's mostly like the small stuff within the game once the game has started, right? Because whether we keep or mulligan our hand, I'm sure there are some kind of exception to like the perfect 7 with no Bazaar. I'm actually not even sure about that. But I'm just saying chances are we're not going to see any spicy mulligan decision this game. We're probably going to see a Bazaar or not see a Bazaar, and then we just cross our fingers. Okay, the opponent is back. They keep 7. We don't have a Bazaar. We press the mulligan button. We don't have a Bazaar. We press the mulligan button. We don't... Okay, I'll stop. Okay. Outer. Put 3 cards back. 1, 2, 3. 4 cards. Nope. Powder. Nope. Mulligan. Got there. Okay, so we're on a mulligan to 3. 1. I feel like I'm supposed to get double Bazaar up and running. And there's the ley line. Which is not ideal. Because now we just can't win, right? We need to vigor that ley line before we can even get to do anything. So that's something I should have told you about this deck. If you don't find a Bazaar, I think there's like 1.5% chance or something that you don't find it. So in these games, when you go to like super low, in this game, realistically, I can beat some creatures and maybe a wasteland. There's no way I can beat Leyline plus functioning hand. But that's just how it is, right? Dredge is, you live by the gun, you die by the bullet, because Dredge puts pressure on the opponent to mulligan a lot. Or to, like, it has so high demands for the opponent's opening hand that that's like a big that's a big strength overall. But obviously, since we rely so much on an individual card to be in our opening hand, it can also, backfire, right? Okay. The opponent has Leyline and Bazaar. That's the dream. That's what I wanted to have. And if they just can do anything like that's just mildly meaningful here, we're losing this game. Okay. Ditch a Squee to get the engine online. Ditch a Vengevine and a Root Walla. Okay, okay. That'll definitely do it. So yeah, not much to do this match. The opponent had a great 7. Awesome. I didn't have a good 7. I didn't have a good 6. I had to go all the way down to 3. Kept double Bazaar, hoping my opponent would have anything like one Wasteland or some kind of clock that I could stabilize. But yeah, it is how it is with Dredge. Sometimes you find the Bazaar, sometimes you don't. Thanks for watching so far. See you guys for the next match. Okay, we're back with more vintage action. I'm playing Dredge, and it looks like our opponent is going to companion Lurrus, which is an interesting matchup. Yeah, opponent has a Lurrus. I have to powder, which is sad because I'm giving up information before my opponent gets to mulligan, which, you know, it's fine. The same way they're giving up information about playing Lurrus, I give up information because I use Serum Powder. That's just how it is. So this opening hand is obviously great. We have a Bazaar and a Chalice, and let's see if we can pair that Force Negation or hit something like a Grief. I do have to think about if I get Wastelanded, I might have to slow dredge my way into this game. So let's see what happens here. Okay, I can pitch 3 dredgers. That's kind of cool, so let's do that. 3 dredgers to the yard. Chalice for 0. So here I think my opponent just has a Wasteland straight up. Like, that's the reason you keep hands against Dredge game 1, unless you have, like, some really broken hand, I guess. But I think he's on fair Lurrus, like, with no combo finish. But let's see. If I lose my Bazaar, I have... Oh, I'm not gonna lose my Bazaar. Okay. Huh. Maybe it's like some Needle or Soul Guide? Yeah, it's Needle. Okay. I'm gonna try and negate the Needle. And I get forced. Okay. So basically, Needle is like Wastelanding Bazaar, I guess. Okay. So I have like 12 draws, 12 dredges here to hit something relevant. Chill is not going to do anything by itself. I don't have a ghoul to bring in. Huh. Okay. I mean, we can easily lose this. There's a Wasteland that doesn't do anything. There's a Seal of Cleansing that can kill Mox. Kill Chalice, rather. When it gets a Sapphire into play, sure. Dredge 4. Still no good stuff. Like, no Icarids, no... No Narcomoeba. Yeah, this is horrible. Dredge 4. Chill. With double Amalgam. But nothing to do here. No Icarid. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I need to have, like, 1 Icarid in my yard. Then I can get back my stuff. Now I guess the problem is my opponent can put Lurrus to hand. Yeah, this is getting complicated. I wasn't the most skilled dredger in the business. Yeah, there's the Icarid, but I think it's gonna be a bit late here. Let's see. And obviously there's the ghoul. It wasn't there when I needed it alongside the chill. Opponent goes Lurrus, attack for 2 probably. Or maybe they're looking to block the Icarid. Okay, they're looking to block. So Icarid into play, trigger double Amalgam. And then I think it's natural draw time. I don't have any more dredgers out there. And there's Narcomoeba, funnily enough. Attack with Icarid. Get back 2 Amalgams. Let's see. Do I pitch Grief to put Icarid into play next turn? I think I do. Lurrus has lifelink, so it's going to be some kind of a race. Wow, Shadow Spear. That's a sick one. Shadow Spear is really good at racing. I can't remember. I can't believe my opponent did not attack with Luris. Like, what is their plan? To block with Luris? That's strange. That's very strange, actually. Now my opponent's going to have 6 lifelink. They go to 2. So Icarid, I guess I don't really like it, but I'm discarding the Amalgam because then it will come back alongside the Icarid. That is complicated. Maybe what the opponent's supposed to do is attack with Luris, stay back with Lavinia. Yeah, let's see. It was pretty important that I could bin another Amalgam there, I think. Because if my opponent attacks for 8, attacks and goes to 8, I have lethal. What if the opponent... Let's see. What if the opponent attacks with Luris? Go to 5. Block and kill Amalgam. Go to 8. Take damage from Amalgam and Icarid. Go to 2. Next turn. Attack again. Rinse and repeat. Except then I have an Amalgam. So I think the opponent had one more turn to find a plow. I don't think they're dead there. Oof. That card is very, very strong. The Shadow Spear, that's just a random angle that I'm not necessarily ready for. So let's see what we do here. Could go like that, and maybe like one. Let's see. Maybe I cut all of those cards. What if I cut all of those cards and go waste these as well? Trim Grief on the draw, maybe not the... Yeah, let's go. Okay, let's try this. I'm bringing Sickening Shoal because of Containment Priest. Let's see if that happens. Needle is complicated. Okay. Yeah, this hand has some good stuff. As Bizarre, it has Wasteland. It has Noxious, meaning if my opponent keeps a hand that banks on Wasteland, I'm golden. I have a turn 1 hollow one to put on a little pressure. It can even deal with Containment Priest. So basically, I'm losing to something like Land Needle. That's like that's the nightmare. Versus Saga, okay. Sapphire, sure. Walk. Okay, this is awesome. That is awesome. When you have the Sapphire Saga Walk to make sure you have turn 1. Oof. Yeah. Even Lotus. My opponent can get Lotus online turn 1. Ooh. Yeah, this is gonna be very, very tough. They're not gonna do that, okay. I need Force of Vigor. Huh. The thing is, if I Wasteland this, my opponent's still gonna make a token, and then... Yeah, I need to hit that Force of Vigor now. Okay, I didn't. Yeah, now the thing is, opponent makes token, then makes another token, then searches up like Grafdigger's Cage or whatever. But let's see if we cannot give away too much in this game. Like I don't want to let my opponent know I play Sickening Shoal, for instance. I don't want to let my opponent know that I boarded in Wasteland. Now that I missed. Yeah. Wow, that was brutal. That was a brutal turn. Sapphire Saga Time Walk. That was beautiful against my hand. The opponent makes one more token, then searches up. I would guess Cage. Cage is just a card that doesn't allow me to do anything. But even, yeah, okay. Fair enough. I'm gonna concede that game, because now they have 5/5s, they can even get more hate. And they shut down the Bazaar and had no dredgers in the yard, so pretty brutal stuff. Let's see. The griefs on the play are strong. What is it I don't want on the play? Maybe like 1 vigor, 1 waste, and still keep all of the engine. Okay. No Bazaar. Press mulligan button. Okay. I can live with this. So I get an Archimeva out of there. I have Force of Vigor for hate pieces. I have Noxious for... I was about to say I have Noxious for Wasteland redundancy, but the thing is, with second Bazaar in hand, that's not that important. Hollow one. And then we're kind of... It's funny, we're kind of back where we started. We don't have any Dredger, and we're kind of at the mercy of... Yeah, please don't have a good hand opponent. So now with Detection Probe, the opponent knows that Wasteland is not a really good strategy, which is good information for the opponent. They also know that their hate pieces might get killed. Oh, yeah, this is brutal, because now it's 1 counterspell and I'm gone. Needle on Czar. They try and kill it. If I get forced, I lose the game, most likely. Yeah. Yep. So this is a case where if I only get 1 shot, I need to have put dredgers in my yard, like game 1 basically, to give myself a chance. Now I have a 4/4 that's trying to go the distance against like my opponent's companion. Opponent plays a Wasteland, which is just going to be, you know, a mana source this game, but that's perfectly fine as well. Opponent plays a Shadow Spear, opponent plays a Cage, so infinite hate here. So I need to... Yeah, this is just not realistic at all. The only good thing is my opponent doesn't have any mana sources in play that help him cast Lurrus. Yeah. So if this dies to a plow, the game's over. That is a card that makes my clock terrible, because now I hit my opponent at 5. Then they can make this a 3/3 with a lifelink. Then I hit for 1 at the time. Yeah, this is over. This is over. All right. That was a brutal showing. Okay, easy now, opponent. That was a brutal showing here. We got to play against 2 fast combo decks where we didn't have much agency. Then we got to play against, let me think here, what did we play round 3? The Squee deck, which is just better in the pseudo mirror. And then we got to play against the deck that really teched for the matchup here, which is... This is a good matchup on paper. Like, the reason I started to play Dredge was this matchup in particular. But if they start playing, you know, main deck Needle, main deck Soul Guide, stuff like that, it can get really tough. So a deck like Dredge, it's good when you pick it out of the drawer at the right time. You can't just say, oh, this is an evergreen strategy. Like, this is metagame dependent. And I think that's pretty much what we learned today here, that if people are going to be faster, if people are going to pack loads of hate, if people are going to play another Bazaar strategy that's more resilient, it's just not a good choice. And that might be the case. Yeah, that was a beating, but I think it was a great showcase of mainly the lows of Vintage Dredge. I hope you guys enjoyed those matches. That's going to do it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with more Vintage. See you there.